Greetings from New Jersey Institute of Technology. My name is Mike Smullen. I'm the Executive Director of Alumni Relations here at NJIT. I'm honored to serve as your MC today. Please remember that our presentation today is live, so if there are any technical issues, we appreciate your understanding as we work through them. The Hillier College of Architecture and Design is a college of distinction at NJIT, boasting brilliant, groundbreaking work by thousands of distinguished students and graduates. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Hillier College of Architecture and Design, Dr. Branko Kolarevic.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Design Showcase. As Mike said, my name is Branko Kolarevic and I'm the Dean of the J. Robert and Barbara A. Hillier College of Architecture and Design. We're having two events this afternoon. First, to recognize and celebrate the award winners, and following that, the Design Showcase lecture with our alumnus Brian Lee of Collocate Design in New Orleans, who will talk about design justice in the built environment. The first part will be over at 5 and will be followed by a reception in one of our 4 virtual rooms. The keynote lecture by Brian will start at 5:30. The video that preceded this segment features student projects that you can actually view in greater detail on the event's website at design.njit.edu/Design Showcase 2020, one word. So that's Design Showcase 2020, one word at the end. There you can also find links to virtual rooms and the lecturing, if any of you kind of get lost in the process, because there are many moving parts to the event tonight. This is the first virtual design showcase in the college's history. One of the many firsts we didn't sign up for this year. So as many of you may recall, we were supposed to have an in-person event back in April, which we had to postpone because of the pandemic. We thought we could do it early in the summer, but then it became apparent that won't be possible. So long story short, we decided that we would have a virtual ceremony in October that is today. We could have canceled it, but that would not be fair to our students whose work we recognize. It wouldn't be fair to our alumni who enjoy coming back to the campus every year. And that would also not be fair to the companies and firms whose gifts directly support some of the activities that benefit our students, such as our lecture series every semester, including Brian's lecture today. I wish we were assembled in person in the gallery in Weston Hall, as we have done it in the past, with live music and that famous sushi table. But as you all know very well, nothing is normal this year. So we have the new normal, which means classes and studio crits via WebEx or Zoom, ditto for meetings and events such as this one. I have to admit the obvious, that the new normal is not as good as the old one, but as the saying goes, it is what it is. The point of our gathering this afternoon is not to lament our new collective reality, but to celebrate the remarkable talents and skills of our students, the successes of our alumni, and the generosity of our supporters. Now comes the part when we will announce the winners of this year's Design Showcase. There are 4 awards in each of the disciplines represented in the college. So architecture, interior design, industrial design, and digital design. Before we continue, I suggest you all get a drink for a toast to the winners that we will have at the end. And you can do so as I introduce the jurors. So the jurors who made the selection are our alumni. They are Donald Henry, Managing Principal of Urban Architects in New York, and Jonathan Ninnis, Principal and President of OC Construction Management, also in New York. I would like to invite Don and Jonathan to join us on screen. Well, thank you for joining us today. I have to say that Don and Jonathan co-chaired this year's Design Showcase Committee, made of our alumni who have a significant role in crafting this event. So both Don and Jonathan are our alumni. Don graduated in 1980, so congratulations. This is the 40th anniversary. And Jonathan, in 2005, this makes it the 15th anniversary of your graduation. Needless to say, we are very proud of what you have accomplished in your careers. So Don and Jonathan will announce the winners and explain how they chose them. So we will begin with the Architecture Award, which will be presented by Don.
Thank you, Dean Branco. This year's award for our architecture, we are presenting to Michelle Duong for her hashtag How Dare You project. This project was stood out amongst us, amongst all the presentations. It was a unique project, very interesting. The idea of parasols that are highly detailed and placed in the setting in Liberty State Park, which transforms the park and gets you to think about the park in many different manners. The parasols would evolve with the climate and change on a regular basis. We thought it was a very unique project, something out of the norm, and so a lot of thought went into that. I do have to say that every one of the boards we reviewed, there was a tremendous amount of thought and great creativity in it, but we thought Michelle stood above them all. Jonathan?
So, yeah, go ahead. Jonathan, do you have anything to add to what Don said?
Jonathan's audio might be having an issue.
Hopefully not. So as I said, this event is live, so we do anticipate there could be a few problems here and there. We can move to the next one. So while Jonathan figures out what's wrong with his audio, we can move to the interior design.
Sure. We took a look at interior design and we looked through all the different candidates, and in our opinion, the Chloe Blotman's 32 Prince Culinary School was an incredibly exciting and innovative project from the interiors group. The renderings were incredibly well detailed. The concept was really intriguing, with a rotating hydroponic garden within the lobby that could be utilized for by the chef to pull off the right herbs and vegetables to be served to their clients. So we thought that was an incredibly exciting project.
Do we have Jonathan back? It will be nice to hear second juror, who.
There, Branco?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, Jonathan.
First off, apologies for the technical difficulties here. Just to go back and to echo Don, it was a real privilege this year to choose the winners, and had an equally hard time, difficult time going through all of the submissions. All of them were very well done and very well thought through. So I guess I'll jump to the industrial design. I think that's next on the list. For industrial design, we chose Hope Diaz, which was the childish mimicry. We found it to be
This is what happens. I think he was using this cellular phone to.
Hope's project was very interesting. All four were interesting ideas. We had never seen a child's toy that teaches someone how to garden, and we thought that was a very innovative idea. The construction of it was unique and interesting and very playful, and something that I believe my grandson would love to work on. So congratulations, Hope.
So Jonathan, now that we have you back, maybe you can present the next one, which is in digital design.
So for digital design, we chose Mistral design of the augmented reality wayfinding app. We found it to be a little bit of a cross between digital and industrial design, but clearly digital, being that it is an app. It obviously hit close to home, being using NJIT as the example on. But we found it to be very practical, very well thought out, fully developed, and something that we'd all very much like to use and probably find helpful, rather than using just a map on your phone. The addition of the AR to actually see the buildings and see your paths in front of you, we thought would be very practical.
I just want to add, for the benefit of our audience, that when I spoke to two of you yesterday, we were adjudicating these entries in the afternoon. I know that you both have busy professional lives, so I just wanted to if you could share with us how things went back and forth. For the benefit of the audience, we created a website where the boards were uploaded so they could go in between them. And I know we thought you would be done in several hours, but this thing lasted a bit. So I just wanted to hear a little bit about some of the challenges that you had in reviewing the work.
It was interesting. It was normally on a design showcase, we gather in Weston Hall and we have all the boards there and we can walk around together as a group and talk about it and review each board. And if we thought we wanted to go back and look at something, it was easy to go to. Here was a little bit different. All the boards are up online and they were terrific. So we were able to look at each one individually. Our best way to handle this is we found that we created an Excel spreadsheet that could take our notes, keep things all together on one page so we can understand what's going on. We shared that amongst ourselves, and Jonathan and I obviously did not meet together. We were on our Zoom calls back and forth with each other and conversing back and forth and sharing the screen of looking at each of the entries together. I think after about 7-8 months of practicing Zoom now, I think we're starting to get the hang of it. So for me, it was a great challenge. But it was an exciting event, and I really appreciate and thank the school for asking us to add this contribution to this event tonight.
Jonathan, do you want to add anything to what?
The effort. Don and I set aside several hours yesterday afternoon, and it in fact took even more than that to really review all of the submissions in detail and arrive at the final. But thank you for the opportunity to do so.
I want to thank you both, and actually want to invite the audience to view the submissions on the website. As I said, you will find there not only the work by our students, but also the boards that were submitted by our alumni, as has been the tradition in the Design Showcase since we started. So I had the chance to review the projects. It's really good work. I'm proud of what our students have produced over the past year. And I would like to invite all of you and also our jurors to raise your glasses to acknowledge the amazing talent of our students, including the 4 winners that were chosen by our jurors. So congratulations to all of them.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
And I think they deserve a round of applause as well. So you won't hear too many hands clapping. It's just the 3 of us that you see on the screen. So before we continue, again, want to thank Dawn and Jonathan for their time and effort in selecting this year's winners. And again, congratulations to the 4 who won the awards this year. Now, in the next segment, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors, the companies and firms whose generosity makes the Design Showcase possible every year. So it is my pleasure to introduce those that have pledged their support last winter before pandemic hit. So Pella Windows is one of our largest supporters and has been with us for some time. Next, we have Hanini Group, Mount McDonald, and OC Development Management that was represented also by Jonathan Innes today. We have Dietz Partnership, the American Institute of Architects, New Jersey chapter, Design Resources Group Architects, Zampolin and Associates Architects, Architectural Windows, Palram Architects, Diaz Architects and Associates, Garland, Rulon International, Dinner Brick, Mazer Consulting, Chemlink, NK Architects, Pratt Construction Group, Cornerstone Architectural Group, and Gensler. The pandemic has interrupted our fundraising efforts earlier this year. So this is not a typical design showcase. We have decided that the funds we have raised this past winter would be applied to the next year's event. And the companies whose logos and names you see now have supported us in the past, and we hope to have them again with us next year. I have to say that without such supporters, there wouldn't be a design showcase event, and their generous gifts provide essential resources for the various activities that benefit our students, such as our lecture series, for example. We thank them again for their generosity on behalf of our students. In the next part of the ceremony, we will share pre-recorded video messages from our alumni, most of whom are with us today. After the videos end, I will share with you some closing remarks.
It was love at first sight, West Town Hall, fall semester, first year, Marty Seibel's studio. It continued second year in Michael Mostover's studio, and then culminated in Julian Weiss's and Tony Schumann's third year studios. You may have figured it out by now, but I'm not talking about architecture. I'm talking about finding the love of my life at NJIT, Sandy. We finished our education together in Don Wall's fifth year studios, graduated, and were married 2 years later. 5 tough years, but very rewarding. NJIT, not the marriage. It's 30 years later, and my passion is still there for our chosen profession in Sandy. Thank you.
In my third year, I participated in the design showcase. And now, the company I'm working with is also part of this event, and we're giving back to the students.
My favorite memories from my time at NJIT were walking around Weston and looking at all of the work from other studios and other disciplines. While it's unfortunate that we can't do that in person this year, it's nice to have virtual events like Design Showcase to continue that collaborative environment.
My name is John Ferrer, and I studied industrial design at NJIT. It was at NJIT that I learned about the latest technologies that I still use in my current day-to-day operations. Whether I'm designing concepts, creating technical drawings, or working on the final manufacturing phases. These are all the different aspects that I learned while I was at NJIT.
Being a member of Alpha Rho Chi at NJIT allowed me to participate in a community that fosters collaboration and mentorship. And I've been fortunate enough to have found a similar community at the company I work for now.
In second year studio, we got the opportunity to compete in a masonry design build competition. This hands-on approach to design gave us a chance to construct our 3D models physically outside Weston Hall. NJIT gave me the tools to design digitally and physically, and I'm lucky enough to work with both daily.
Hi everyone. A favorite moment was in third year we had the Health Clinic Design Studio and I made this model. I explored design interests in construction, landscape or architecture, and ordering systems that I carried forward into Option Studios and ultimately the Four Freedoms Foundation Integrated Studio. The Construction 3 Revit project was helpful in gaining employment, and the professional practice knowledge is helpful now in studying for the architectural registration exam.
A favorite moment for me would be having an old professor return as a guest critic and being able to impress them with my improvement.
Hi, I'm Keith. Architecture is a social responsibility. As designers, we help shape the world around us. It is our responsibility to create a future which responds to the needs of all and as well as the environment at large. Individual actions have systemic consequences.
Hi, my name is Pamela Spina. I am a 2018 graduate. I studied interior design and am now working at M. Moser as a workplace designer. One of the most significant moments in my career was seeing a project transform right before my eyes. Being able to fully experience what we design on a computer screen to physically being able to experience the space has leveraged me to become a better designer. I can't wait to see what future NJIT graduates are designing.
My favorite moment from architecture school was probably my last final review. It was my thesis semester, so the project was really close to my heart, and all of the faculty who had supported me throughout the 5 years were there. It was a great send-off.
A big thank you to our alumni for these videos, which were done on short notice. I wish, we could see each other face to face. I can actually hear from alumni how things are going in life, at work. But this is the best we could do under the circumstances. So I hope that you appreciated these videos as much as I did. I would like to thank once more the sponsors for this year's Design Showcase. Many of whom are with us tonight virtually this evening, this afternoon. I also want to thank all members of the Design Showcase Committee who have worked with us back in January and February before the pandemic hit, and who have rejoined us over the past few weeks. So Alisa Diaz, Bill Corfield, Bob Fritz, Bob Longo, Chuck Dietz, Chuck Sommers, David Woodstoppenbeck, Dom Diaz, Don Henry, who was a co-chair, Jonathan Innes, second co-chair, Jose Santino, Mark Perret, Mark Soheda, Marta Berlinski, Matt Jermel, Michael Tully, Ryan Cusack, Stephen Williams, Susana Holgen Vega, Trevor Munson. Thank you all for your hard work. I also want to thank our dedicated, hardworking staff who made this event possible: Janet Robertson, Tracy McDonald, Amy Stinchkop, and Amada Belton. What comes next is the best part of the ceremony. So we invite you to join us to meet and mingle in one of the virtual rooms. You should have received an invitation. And now back to Michael, our amazing MC, with a big thank you for all his help today.
Thanks very much, Branko. And thank you all for joining us this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to see such an exceptional group of students during the ceremony. You bring great pride to your alma mater and to the generous alumni and organizations that have chosen to support you. This brings us to the end of the ceremony. Make sure to join one of the groups to which you've been invited. As Dr. Kolarevic mentioned, you would have received an email already. Please don't forget to join us at 5:30 for the keynote lecture by Brian Lee. You can follow the link on the event webpage at design.njit.edu/Design Showcase 2020, or you can take a look at the link that's now displaying on your screen. Thanks again very much for joining us, and have a great day, and go Highlanders.